The problem with trying to quit porn is that your actions are going to realign with what you believe to be true about yourself over time. Like always, it's always going to realign. So if you believe you're a worthless sack of garbage, if you think that you're powerless, if you think you're a victim, if you think you're stuck, that you don't have a choice, that it's too strong, that you can't handle it, that this is too overwhelming, well, guess what? I mean, your behavior is going to reflect that, right? We don't understand enough just how powerful our thoughts are. Like your thoughts are so incredibly powerful, and the things that you repeat in your mind over and over and over again become what you believe to be true about yourself and also the world around you. What if the way that you've been viewing this, what if it's actually not correct? And that's something that I encourage you to do, is just the thoughts that you have that go through your mind. I call them negative cognitions, right? Or you could say negative beliefs. But those negative thoughts that come through, what if you were to actually just start challenging them all the time instead of just letting them go through unchallenged? Right? Like, why are those things the ultimate truth in your life? Do they have to be? No, they don't. And you actually get to decide what is true about yourself, not other people, not the external world, and not even those BS thoughts that go through your mind. I don't care what you've done in the past. It doesn't matter. Like we're children of God. We have unlimited potential. Transformation is in our nature. It's in our very nature. Why do we watch movies? Why do we read books? Why do we love inspirational stories? Because they're stories of transformation. Someone going from this state to this state, from, powerless, victim, abused, whatever, or maybe someone who hurts other people or just is having a really difficult time in life, to boom, learning from those mistakes or learning from the pain that was caused to them, right? That was out of their control, and rising above it. That's the stuff we love the most. We love this like hero's journey, the comeback stories. We love that stuff. And the reason why is because we know deep down that we're capable of that same thing. It's inspiring. And so you get to decide on a daily basis whether or not you are going to step on that hero's journey or stay stuck looping those limiting beliefs that you have over and over and over again in your mind. And so if you're trying to quit pornography or any kind of habit, or succeed in a career, or treat your spouse better, or your children, or whatever it is that you're trying to change, if you're trying to change that while still repeating these things on loop in your mind that are false, like a false identity, well, it's no wonder you're not going to make any meaningful, long-lasting change. It's just not possible, because your actions always realign with your beliefs over time, right? You're going to slide backwards, because in that type of a scenario, you're forcing it with willpower instead of allowing it to happen, instead of being that person that's free, that's happy, that's empowered, that's encouraged, that believes more is possible. So today, a few things just to kind of help you start to shift your thoughts. You've probably heard of affirmations and things like that before, but what I like to do personally is I like to make a big old list of all of the things that go through my mind that I am choosing to move on from or reject or not believe anymore. So list out all of your negative cognitions. So if you're like, man, I'm always late, or gosh, why is life so hard? Or I'm never going to be able to get over this porn thing, or this is too hard for me, this is too big, it's too powerful. Like all of those negative thoughts that go through your mind, write them down so that you shine the light of awareness on them. Because once you have the awareness, then you're more empowered to change trajectory, to change directions. Okay? You can't change something you're not consciously aware of. It's just not possible. So next, what you do is on that same page, next to all of those negative cognitions, you make another column, and you write out what you want to believe to be true instead. So some positive cognitions, positive affirmations, statements, the I am, I can, I'm going to, and I will, or I want, right? These types of statements. And they're so helpful. But here's the thing, the secret to these statements is not just in going through and saying them out loud, although that's part of the process, right? The secret is in the emotions that you wrap in with them. Your brain cannot tell the difference, your psyche cannot tell the difference between an imagined experience or an experience you're having in real time, provided that you wrap in emotions into the imagined experience. So if you're just rattling off affirmations, but you feel nothing but a void, or all the negative, painful emotions that you feel with the negative cognitions, guess what? Your psyche is going to reject each and every one of those statements. It's not going to land. It's just going to bounce off. It's like an armor. It's an emotional armor that's just going to reject all of that data, right? But when you picture the ideal life that you desire and then take the time to really imagine it, really flesh it out in your mind, and then to allow yourself to feel what it would feel like if those things were to be true in your life, and you were able to access those real raw emotions and bring them in and heighten them, expand them as much as possible in your mind's eye, while you're doing that visualization, your brain can't tell the difference as to whether it was real or not. Your brain feels as if what you just went through was real. So if you can picture your ideal future, that ideal version of yourself, how would he behave in this situation? How would he think and believe? How would he talk to himself right now? He talked to himself with love and kindness and patience. And then you allow yourself to feel emotions like gratitude and worthiness. Those are two of the biggest ones that are going to make the biggest difference for you. But gratitude and worthiness. And then any other positive emotions that you want to go along with that, that's going to have a residual impact on you. So what I like to do is before going to bed every night, you take that list of affirmations or positive cognitions, the beliefs you're wanting to install, and you not only recite them before going to bed, but you take a moment to visualize and wrap in those powerful emotions as well as you can. Okay, at first it might be a little difficult. Sometimes you can get creative, like think of a time in your life where you were the most successful, like where you just dominated at something, maybe won a competition or made a bunch of money, or the birth of a child, or engagement to your partner, or whatever the heck the situation is. You can strategically use those just to activate your emotions. Okay, if you're in this kind of like stuck down, depressed state, sometimes it can be hard to recite affirmations and bring in and wrap in those empowering emotions. So think of something that helps you get there easier. It opens up that conduit and allows you to then start adding those positive emotions to your affirmations and to the things that you're trying to install. Okay, so every night before you go to bed, recite those affirmations and wrap in those empowering emotions. Stay in that place as long as you can, and then just lay down and go to sleep. Don't go think about anything else after that. Don't stay up and do more work. Like literally try to have it be the last thing you do before you lay down, because what's going to happen is the last thing you thought about before you went to bed is typically the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning. And why is that? It's because you ended your day on that and your psyche has been marinating on those thoughts the entire night. And it's kind of like what I attribute it to. It's like, riding a bike is difficult at first for children. They fall down and you encourage them, you teach them how, and they get back up, they try again. And over time, it gets easier and easier and easier. Or it could be like playing an instrument like the piano. You sit down at the piano, you practice, it's hard, it's clunky, it doesn't come as easily. Well, then you walk away from the piano, give your mind a break. It just kind of keeps working on it, even though you're not there plunking out the notes. You come back a few hours later, it feels easier. And why is that? Because your subconscious mind has had time to process the new information. And it's continuing to create new neural pathways. And so at night, when you do this, when you recite those affirmations, maybe it's a little clunky, maybe it doesn't work quite as well, or it's not as easy to get those empowering emotions wrapped in. But then you do that before you go to bed. Your brain has time to work on that all night long. You're creating new neural pathways. It's accepting and installing those new beliefs. The next morning, you're thinking about it again, right? And then you do it the following night. Like over time, it gets easier and easier and easier to ride that bike. Playing those notes gets smoother. You get more skilled at it. It becomes more of a beautiful melody, right? Instead of this clunky, plunky thing, right? And over time, your beliefs are going to start to shift because remember, what you think in your mind over and over and over again becomes what you believe. And if your beliefs or your thoughts generate emotions, and those emotions then generate and motivate your actions, and your actions create the results in your life, it's probably pretty dang important to install the right thoughts here. And that's where we start. Everything else comes downstream of that. So there's a suggestion for you, a huge one that can literally completely transform your life. But remember that the secret is in the emotions. If you don't feel emotions with the things you're picturing, then it's not doing you any good. It's just rote recitation, and it's not going to serve any purpose. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. We do have some resources in our Porn Free Brotherhood. That's our free community. For those of you that are watching this recording, there's a 30-day challenge in there just to help you to start to think differently, right? To train new beliefs just through awareness and putting in some food for thought. That also, as part of that challenge, you're going through a guided gratitude meditation. Gratitude is so powerful because gratitude and anxiety cannot exist in you at the same time. And so if you can get better at practicing gratitude, well, guess what? It's going to displace a lot of the negative emotion that's driving your need to view porn to begin with. And you're going to start feeling better and better about yourself. And it keeps your prefrontal cortex online. This is where this is the seat of your moral decision making, your executive function. And when you get triggered or experiencing big urges or are feeling a lot of emotional pain, this starts shutting down and we go into our automatic trained responses. So with that in mind, by practicing gratitude, by meditating and letting go of stress, by installing these new beliefs, by wrapping in empowering positive emotions, like you're bringing this more online, and you're going to have a lot more power, and your automatic reactions are going to feel less automatic. You're going to have more choice and strength. I call that being plugged into our functional adult self. It's the part of you that cares about your future, that cares about the tools, that cares about your own self-worth, about the people around you that you love, and will actually utilize the tools that we teach. And we can strategically help you plug into that by doing some of these practices. So I hope that this helps. This is just to scratch the surface, but we have some of those resources for you in the Porn Free Brotherhood. That's our free community. Also, we do have a step-by-step flagship program in what we call the Porn Free Revolution. It's a separate community just for my hands-on clients. And in there, I literally give you the A to Z roadmap for quitting porn completely. It's everything that I wish I had known at the beginning of my journey. And I just take you through it step by step by step. And by the end, you're coming out like a new person, new beliefs installed, all the skills you need to manage those urges, not just to view porn, but the urge to to self-deprecate and tear yourself down, how to install these new beliefs on an even deeper level, et cetera. There's so much in there. But if that's something that's of interest to you, there's links below this video when it's posted. Otherwise, that's it for today. I just want everyone watching this to know, like, there's nothing wrong with you. You just don't yet have the skills, and you haven't yet had the practice installing this new identity to change your behavior yet. But your behavior and your acting out with pornography is just a symptom of these other issues and a lack of a skill set. And it can be learned, it can be taught, it can be mastered.